Turn off the lights. Lock your doors. And let the darkness in. You're watching Horrificial. The sky hung heavy over Oakridge Estates that morning, thick gray clouds draping the neighborhood like an uninvited guest. Evan Carter watched through the windshield as the wrought iron gates in front of him refused to budge. He tapped the steering wheel. Again and again, the security pad's red light blinked like an unblinking eye, cold and unchanging. Evan, maybe the power's out, Anna said softly from the passenger seat, clutching their daughter's stuffed rabbit. The back seat was full of boxes. They were supposed to be leaving today. Supposed to? Their daughter Maya kicked the seat in front of her. Why aren't the gates opening? Evan punched the keypad again. Same result, nothing. He tried the HOA emergency line. No answer. He leaned out of the car, waving at the security camera mounted above the gate. Its black lens reflected his shape at him, like a pupil with no soul behind it. Behind them, the neighborhood remained still. Neighbors' blinds twitched. Someone stood on a porch in the distance, not moving. Evan felt the weight of that silence pressing against his skull. They'd planned this for weeks, leaving Oakridge, breaking free from the endless HOA notices, the constant inspections, the late-night neighborhood patrols that made no sense. But this was something different. The iron gates had always opened on schedule. They'd always let them out. Today they didn't. By noon, the family's car sat idle. Evan stormed to the community center, a sleek white building with the HOA seal carved in stone. The door was locked. The windows covered in black film from the inside. A note taped to the glass read in pristine block letters, "Everything is fine. Please return to your homes." Underneath, a faint smear of something brownish red. Maybe rust, maybe not. Anna hugged Maya against her hip as Evan rattled the door. His knuckles stung. Then from behind him, a neighbor's voice. "You should go home," whispered Mrs. Alden, the woman from across the street. She was standing barefoot on the sidewalk, hair tangled, eyes wide. "They don't like it when people try to leave." "Who's they?" Evan asked. She didn't answer. She just backed away slowly, whispering to herself like a scratched record over and over again. "It's already decided. It's already decided." That night, Oakridge was louder than usual. From their window, Evan and Anna watched 3 black vans circle the cul-de-sacs in silence. No engine sound, just movement. No headlights, no markings. At each house, someone got out. Tall figures in dark suits wearing smooth white masks. They didn't knock, they placed something in the mail slots. "Evan," Anna whispered, "what is this?" He wanted to say, "I don't know," but something in him already did. The HOA had always been invasive. They'd installed mandatory lawn sensors, sent anonymous letters about non-compliance. But this felt like the mask was finally off. When the figures reached their house, one of them stopped and stared directly into their window. A hand slowly lifted and pressed against the glass. On its palm, a black symbol, a circle with a single vertical line through it. The masked figure didn't speak. Then just as quietly, they moved on. Evan found an envelope on their porch later. Inside, a single note, "Don't try again." Evan couldn't sleep. He walked out before dawn, trying to find a cell signal beyond the gates. But every phone bar had died the moment the iron doors locked. Even the GPS was frozen, their address blinking endlessly like a looped memory. That's when he met Caleb, the quiet guy from the end of the street, the one who never joined the block parties. Caleb leaned against a lamppost, smoking in the shadows. "You're trying to get out," Caleb muttered. "Everyone does. The first week is panic. The second week is pretending. Third week is when they pick someone." "Pick someone?" Caleb exhaled smoke through gritted teeth. "The HOA chooses one house. They always do. Then the lights go out, and no one ever sees them again." Evan's blood turned cold. "This is insane." "No," Caleb said, voice like gravel. "This is Oakridge." The next morning, every house's smart speaker flickered to life at the same time. A crisp, calm voice echoed through each room. "Good morning, Oakridge. As a reminder, leaving is strictly prohibited until further notice. Please ensure all windows remain closed at night. HOA compliance will be enforced at 11 p.m. Then silence. No music, no weather updates. Just that message. Evan smashed their speaker to the floor. Maya cried in the corner, covering her ears. Anna sat frozen at the kitchen table. "This is a nightmare." No, Evan whispered, clutching the crumpled envelope in his hand. This is a prison. Outside, neighbors moved like clockwork. No one made eye contact. No one spoke. Every porch light blinked in synchronized patterns, like coded messages no outsider could understand. And above them, the black surveillance drones hovered like mechanical flies. On the third night, the power in House No. 14 went out. Evan watched from the upstairs window as black vans swarmed the cul-de-sac. The masked figures entered the house. The lights never came back on. The next morning, the house was gone. Not abandoned. Gone. The lawn was neatly trimmed, the driveway spotless, as if nothing had ever stood there. Maya pointed at the empty plot. Where did it go, Daddy? Evan didn't have an answer, but Mrs. Alden stood on the sidewalk again, whispering to herself, her hands digging into her arms until they bled. One down. More to go, Evan decided that night. They were leaving, one way or another. They packed quietly after midnight. He hotwired the SUV's ignition override, disengaged the alarm, and turned the headlights off. The neighborhood felt asleep, but every shadow looked like it was breathing. They reached the gates. Evan rammed the pedal down. The iron barrier didn't give way. Instead, it moved slowly, like a muscle. The gate shifted, flexing as if it were alive, and then a dozen hands, pale inhuman, slipped out from between the bars and grabbed the hood of the car. Maya screamed. Anna held her tight. The SUV's engine died instantly. From behind, a van approached. Headlights flicked on, and Evan saw them, the HOA board. Not masks, not suits. Faces pale like wax, eyes pitch black. Their movements are too smooth to be human. One of them leaned toward the window, smiling with a mouth that didn't end where it should. Going somewhere, Mr. Carter? They woke up underground. The walls were concrete. A long table stood at the center of a circular room. On it, a stack of HOA agreements, the same ones they'd signed when they first moved in. Only now each page was filled with strange symbols carved into the paper itself. Evan's wrists ached. He was restrained. Across from him sat the chairwoman, her face waxen and smooth, lips stretched into something that wasn't a smile. You misunderstood, she said gently. You don't leave Oakridge. Oakridge leaves you! What are you? Evan whispered. She tilted her head, vertebrae cracking like dry wood. We are what keeps this place perfect. On the wall behind her, a map of the neighborhood. Several houses were blacked out. Their address was circled in red. Evan, Anna, and Maya were released back home with no explanation. The gates remained shut. Their house, however, now bore the circle with a vertical line symbol painted on the siding in red. Caleb came in the night, pounding on their back door. They've marked you, he hissed. You need to hide. Where? Evan asked. There's nowhere to hide, Caleb answered, his face twisted. I tried too. Then Caleb lifted his sleeve, revealing the same symbol burned into his skin. He backed away into the shadows, muttering, Next is you. The air in Oakridge grew thick on the final night. Every light in the neighborhood went out. The stars vanished behind a suffocating black sky. Only the symbol on their house glowed faintly red, pulsing like a heartbeat. Maya clutched Anna's arm. They're coming. Evan loaded what he could into the car again, not to escape, but to fight. He'd rather burn the house than let them take it. Then the knocking began. Not from the door, from inside the walls. The floorboards cracked as black veins snaked across them. The ceiling groaned. And outside, dozens of pale faces gathered silently in their yard. Neighbors they'd waved to for years. Their eyes were gone, replaced by the same black void. Anna screamed as something moved beneath the house. The gate didn't open that night. The ground did. When the black vans came the next morning, there was no Carter family. No furniture, no sign of struggle. Their house was gone. The lot was clean. The neighborhood newsletter cheerfully announced, Oakridge Estates is proud to maintain 100% compliance. Everything is fine. A moving truck arrived 3 days later. A new family stepped out, smiling at the perfect lawns, the quiet streets, the beautiful iron gates, and high above the entrance sign, the words "Welcome Home" flickered in soft golden light. No one remembered the Carters. Not even Caleb, but late at night, if you pressed your ear against the gate, you could still hear tapping, like fingers still trying to get out. They thought the gates would open. But Oakridge doesn't let anyone leave. If you're still here, listening in the dark. Make sure to subscribe before the HOA picks your house next. And don't go far. The next story is already waiting for you behind the gate.